Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof! Double woof right there. I was a little bit concerned that the first woof would not register because the game hadn't loaded yet, but I think it did. We're gonna go with that narrative. A little, secret to share with you all. To be completely honest with you, sometimes Wolfie barks when the world is still loading, you know, like sometimes when you can still see the void. Like right when you click play, load the map or whatever, and I skipped that one. I skipped that one and have to wait for the next bark, that one, to start the episode. In case you wanted some behind-the-scenes Farlands or Bustitude, we're going to take all of these pumpkins with us today. No, we're not. I am going to arrange these in a way that is more interesting than they are currently arranged, because we found out that this is 18? Did I not count 18? Well, I guess I could find out when I pick them all up. 18 pumpkins. How come you can never find this many when you're playing Minecraft Bingo? You can never find one when you need it. But regardless, 18 pumpkins and 536 episodes of Farlands or Bust. Because this is episode 536 for today, your first day of December, which is a Tuesday, of 2015. Happy December, everybody. 19! We undersold the amount of pumpkins that were here. These are 19 pumpkins that we have. So we shall and will... How does 19... Woof. Let's make some sort of crazy thing here. I'm getting a little bit carried away, but that's all right. It's all right to get carried away. We're making a pyramid of pumpkins protuberating. Oh, then I think I probably could just go straight over here, could I not? I hope this works, because I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't. All right. Stay there. Oh, interesting. You can't place pumpkins on the side of a block. You have to place it on the bottom of a block. Guess that makes sense. Oh, you still got 3 pumpkins left. What sort of silliness is happening here? Oh, this is wrong. This was a wrong thing that I've done. Yeah. All right, I know, Wolfie. We're getting going soon. I'm making artwork. 1, 2, 3. I know what I can do. 1, 2, and then for the coup de grace, just put 1 on the top. The flying V formation of pumpkinosity. And we can pick up our helmet again. I should just let it despawn to be done with it once and for all, but whatever. Alright, we must get rid of our scaffolding now as well. It's only just and right. Of course, it would have been really amazing if I had actually made these all jack-o'-lanterns, but that's beside the point. We will illuminate it from within. There we go. So here it is, my friends. Oh god. The flying V of pumpkinosity. That'll make for... Oh, I gotta do it more. Wolfie, over here. I'm arranging my thumbnail. Oh, now you look. Alright, anyway, you screw. Very interesting indeed. 19 pumpkins in a single patch. Or perhaps those were 2 or 3 patches that just happened to patch together. But yeah, sorry, a little bit of a late start to actually doing the episode here. Because, like I said, it's episode 536. It is Tuesday, December 1st. And we have passed, speaking of numbers, we have passed $10,000 raised for Child's Play charity this season. $10,142.93 have been raised for Child's Play charity here in Season 6 of Farlands or Bust. I want to appreciate and thank everybody who has donated thus far. Had a lot of good, very generous donations. All the donations, every single donation is generous, but you know what I mean. You catch my drift. Over at farlandsorbust.com is where you can donate and ask a question with your donation, and now I've got quite a few questions. So, yes, we've got plenty to go around for at least 3 or 4 more episodes of Farlands or Bust, but that doesn't mean you can you need to stop donating. You can keep donating. Like I said, farlandsorbust.com goes all to Child's Play charity, getting toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. Indeed. Yeah, so that's cool. That's really cool. I'm very happy that we passed $10,000. I was honestly a little bit afraid that we wouldn't reach 10,000 before the end of the year. Maybe I'll have to think of some sort of end-of-year goal. Not necessarily the Jason Statham initiative, but of the similar... Oh gosh, watch your step. Alright, you know what? I've got to make use of this liquid that I can continue carrying around with me, so... Whoa! And Wolfie's not going to use it. He's going to spawn. Wolfie? Spawn? Spawn, Wolfie? I think he spawned. Yeah, he's fine. Oh, I'm all disoriented. So yeah, a little bit weird. So yeah, I might think of something for the end of the year, sort of little thing to do. Let's reach this, and we'll do this or that or whatever. We'll figure it out. I'll think of something. And I do appreciate everybody's continued support there. Some continued support for the last episode, hitting on some differentiating topics. Although I suppose not that much. I think I was actually just in a conversation with some folks after a spirited game or two of Rocket League, talking about YouTube and plans and stuff, and the last episode of Farlands Bust came up, and yeah, it made me... I talked about being shy, socially awkward, inept, or anxious, introversion even. And it makes me remember probably... I can't remember what episode it was. It had to have been early. It was early after I started Farlands or Bust. Or, like, walking to the Farlands. Farlands or Bust wasn't a thing until much later. Like episode 30 or something like that. But in the teens, maybe it was like 14 or 15 episode 14 or 15. There was certainly the one episode where we first heard from Dr. Brian Lorgon 111. He asked about my video game history. That was a well-received episode, and kind of one of the first times I'm like, a lot of people seem to be watching this and have enjoyed this topic that I talked about and enjoy me talking about it. He said, at the time, quizzically stroking his non-existent beard at the time. Another episode that got similar response was the episode in which I explained why I started the YouTube channel. To have fun, yes, I was inspired by the fact that I really enjoy watching other people's Let's Plays. It seems like a fun thing to do, a different way to play video games. But on another side of the coin, I was really... Remember when that was still a problem? Well, it still is a problem for me, but remember that? It was because I was, for my entire life, quite introverted. Although I didn't know it at the time, introverted. I just thought I was shy and really terrible at making or keeping friends or anything like that, or new connections with people, or just really bad at group projects in school, or whatever. But I'm like, maybe, actually, sitting down in the comfort of my computer and in the comfort of video games, I can somehow work on that, not necessarily cure myself, but kind of practice a skill of socializing and talking and getting comfortable with my voice, as it were. And that is one of the original reasons, phone going off, that I started the YouTube channel and kind of decided, yes, this is a thing I want to do. It will be an experience, a growth, an experience for growing and becoming, hopefully, a better Kurt J. Mac. And I remember that episode was well received too, because a lot of people are very on the similar wavelengths, and of similar experiences. So I think that struck a chord. So yeah, those sort of topics tend to strike chords and get good responses. So I do appreciate that. And it's still, like I said, people still, even from that single episode, I talked about it more beyond then, but even from that single episode, talking about being too shy or introverted, or maybe it's okay to have only one or two real friends, or as opposed to going out and having a big entourage or huge amounts of friends from school or from work or whatever, so yeah, I just felt like bringing that up again. So indeed, appreciate it indeed. And actually I got a few questions like those in the with the donations and a few other questions. Let's see. Oh, we had speaking of generous donations, I can get this one mentioned from Matthew. Very generous donation to Child's Play charity, and just had no question, but just some kind words. Matthew says he's been he's been anxious to try Grow Home ever since he watched my Let's Play, and now that it's finally available for Linux and Steam OS, he's enjoying it very much. I'm reading this in the third person. I just wanted to say thanks for that series, and keep searching out fun, unique games like that. And I will do. Minecraft was one of these fun, unique games that I seeked out and started to play, and then decided to do YouTube stuff on it. So it's certainly worked halfway decent for me so far, so I'm going to keep doing that. And I do appreciate your support for Child's Play charity, and helping get good work done by them. And let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And Grow Homeness. Yeah, Grow Home was a really cool game. And kind of a surprise cool game. Coming from frickin'... Who did it come from? I almost wanted to say Codemasters, but that was wrong. It came from Reflections. Reflections, the same studio that brought you Driver, Driver San Francisco, and the Driver games, and Destruction Derby 2, which was just like, what? But no, it makes sense that it was kind of just a side project by a team that was there, and they decided to fully release it, so that was really cool. And yeah, I do keep an eye out. I have a list. I have a list of these games to play that I just have to get around to playing. I get on these schedules with series. Obviously, Far Lands of Bust, I got the Dirt Rally, I'm doing the Formula 1 thing, I got the Rocket League I want to keep interest in, I just started Tomb Raider, and it's easy to get in just a mode, and I can see how people who have many more series than that can just get in a conveyor belt of making these videos. But for me personally, I do kind of enjoy the one-off. I have a whole playlist called one-off games, just the walking simulator things, or little, obviously Grow Home was a little bit more than that. It in and of itself was a series, but yeah, I often do look forward to, and I just maybe I gotta give myself a quota, like maybe per week or per month, do this many non-series games, just one-offs or whatever. So I'll definitely be. I've kept my eye open, and I've got a Steam wish list full and a Steam library full of games that I've purchased but not have yet played that I got to get around to. Let's make that a goal before the end of December. Wolfie agrees. This one from an anonymous donor. Of all the different types of science, which one is your favorite? Well, I'll have to go, obviously, with the astronomy, which I suppose can also encompass your cosmology, your planetary geology, that sort of stuff. Even your physics is probably above and beyond astronomy, but you know what I mean. The whole physical realm of the universe and whatnot, probably go in that direction. Probably definitely go in that direction. I mean, all science is pretty cool. I don't know that there's much culinary science, maybe I don't grasp as well, but jokes. But yeah, obviously that was probably the answer you would have assumed I would have said. I suppose if I'm to keep it non-astronomical, geology, which you really can't focus or talk about geology without thinking astronomically and source of all these different rocks and minerals and molecules and atoms on certain this planet or other planets without thinking of how they came to be. So it's all, I pretty much think all the sciences are pretty well intertwined. You really can't consider one without the others, I don't think, is typically how they work. So, yeah, that's a cool question. Thanks. Appreciate it. Doc Glasses with their donation. Oh, I appear to have Got myself corralled here. Corrallis. Get it? Anyway. Dark Glasses asks... This is posed a little bit weird wording, but I'll still read it as was written. I understand that you are hairless. What, like a chihuahua? Or what is your hat situation? I've mentioned this before, but hats and kerchemak do not mix too well. I have a very large head. I know some people say, oh, I have a big head. No. My head is ginormous. Gigantic Irish head, and the vast majority, if not all, hats do not fit me. Specific, I mean, people say, oh, just get an adjustable hat. Specifically adjustable hats, they do not adjust enough. There's no adjustment left. The snapback baseball hats, even some beanie caps that you'd think would be of stretchable fabric are no good for me. I feel like I'm having my brains squeezed out of my ears. Like the stylish kind of thin beanie caps. I gotta get the full-on wool, big heat insulating thermal watch caps or whatever. Careful of a. All right, let's get you one of these. My inventory. Oh, that's why my inventory is full. I got all these extra tools that are gonna break. There you go. Also I'm carrying around this stupid helmet for some reason. I don't know why. Let's get rid of it today. Let's find a spawner and just dump it in one of the spawner chests. Why don't we? We do. We shall. We will. More pumpkins. So, yeah, hats are really tough to wear, and because of that, I haven't ever worn them that much ever, so that when I do wear or try to wear, I feel like I look weird and I am uncomfortable, and I'm unsure how to act. I feel restrained in the brain, and yeah, I do own a few fitted caps, and for those of you who know your fitted cap sizes, they normally stop at 8. I am either a 7 and 7/8 or a 7 and 4/5, or whatever. There's two sizes before the biggest size 8. I am one of those two, and it depends. And I recently just also bought a fitted hat that I thought would fit. That was actually a size bigger than the size I normally get, and it didn't fit. So. Yeah, hats generally are not things that I wear. So I have to embrace what you call hairlessness. I would just call less hairness. not all the hair I was born with. Although recently, I was just speaking of the Jason Statham initiative, actually growing back the hair a little bit, seeing if it can. I think I can. Just to see what's up with that. It was certainly, it's very convenient in the summers in Phoenix to not have to worry about, that was, growing back my hair, I'm starting to notice certain occasions where when you get sweaty, your hair gets all wet, and that's just a thing I completely forgot about since I was doing buzz cuts all the time. That's an inconvenient and kind of uncomfortable mess to deal with, but now that it's winter, it's actually been quite cold. Well, relatively speaking, it's been quite cold in Phoenix, getting down, hovering around freezing overnight, which is maybe usual for the middle of January for a couple of days, but it's been pretty consistently around there, and nigh even nearly getting into the 60-degree Fahrenheit range during the day. And like I said before, sure, 60 degrees in, like, Florida or Illinois or something is like, oh, I can go out in jeans and a t-shirt. It's quite nice out. It's quite pleasant. But in the dry desert of Arizona, it feels a lot cooler than it should because there's no moisture in the air. It's like being in the vacuum of space. There's nothing in the air to hold the temperature. So specifically, if you get into the shadows, the shade, it's like, God, I need a frickin' jacket. I am right now wearing a zip-up sweater situation thing. A hoodie, but without a hoodie. What are these things called? They got the little bit of a neck to them, but they don't. There's no actual hoodie, but it's a zip up. You know what I mean? Track jacket, but it's not obnoxiously colored. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, it's actually a little bit cool out. I took Eva out this morning about like, what was it, like 8:30 a.m. and I could see my breath. This is craziness. I can see my breath. It's the reason I moved down here, is away from being able to see my breath. It's my soul escaping. No, I don't. Oh man. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, not huge on the hats. When it is appropriate to answer this question, what is changing as a result of the Patreon survey? Will the results ever be published? Curious about how my answers compared to others. Here's the gist. The vast majority of viewers might not be Patreons, but those of you who are, I appreciate it. On my Patreon, I don't advertise it too much. Maybe I should advertise it more. I am kind of in this weird limbo where I'm obviously have been raising money for charity. So I think for me, as opposed to, say, another channel who doesn't do charity work, not saying they're doing anything wrong, but maybe they don't have a continuous charity event going on like I do with Farlands or Bust, they might find it a little bit, a little bit, there's no question to the fan funding thing versus the charity, I suppose. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a, I've always felt a little bit of a weird place, but those who have embraced it and who have helped out certainly don't feel that way and feel that there is certainly a difference, and I appreciate both sides of the coin, donating to charity or donating, tipping, I suppose we can look at it, tipping fan funding through Patreon or elsewhere. But yeah, I had a survey that I gave to all my patrons to give me, what they thought of my current content, of the rewards on Patreon, perks and whatnot, and I wanted to, on this December 1st, get some changes done for the beginning of December 1st, because each month of support happens on the 1st, like the pledges go through on the 1st, but I obviously didn't get that around to that, so it's going to have to be a New Year thing. But yeah, there are going to be changes, not major changes, simplification definitely. I want to simplify things, make things simpler for you guys as well as myself, come up with some additional, more continual rewards versus the one-time, like, here's a mug reward. But yeah, be looking for that then over the course of this month and then starting beginning of next year. I do appreciate, since you are a patron and you said you answered those questions, I appreciate it, and yeah, there you go. Thanks for the donation to Child's Play charity as well. Let's go to sleep. And I stayed awake to lateness. There's a bunch of creepers who spawn-ness. Woof, Wolfie sees them-ness. How am I doing on wood? Doing alright on wood. Let's see here now. Whoa! Gosh, they spawn like pumpkins. So there's 5 creepers over there. Let's see now. Sheldon from Ontario. What is your favorite moment of any past Farlands or Bust episode? Mine is still the floating block of ice. Can you still sing it? On a side note, have you ever played Top Gear on the Super Nintendo? Is one of my favorite racing games of all time, right next to Drive or San Francisco. That was a cheaty death hole. No, I never owned a Super Nintendo. It's kind of a callback to the my video game history. I went straight from a regular Nintendo NES to a PlayStation, so I kind of skipped a whole 2 generations of gaming consoles. But, so yeah, no, I never played that. I didn't realize one existed. The first question was favorite moment, floating block of ice. Yeah, a lot of those could be encapsulated in those Farlands of Bust flashbacks, which I just looked up, and the last one we had was back in May of this year. And then before that, it was like a year before, in 2014. So I gotta think of more. It's really tough when suddenly we have 536 episodes to choose from. It's kind of, everything starts to blur together, and it's hard to remember which moments were highlight worthy. I certainly am open to suggestions. But yeah, certainly those things are highlights. The beginning of the season 3. where we invoked the hidey hole paradox. It's probably my favorite as a video maker, to take that kind of narrative command of the series, that narrative twist, was very interesting to have that, to have that work out and not really spoil the overall series as a non-scripted kind of vlog podcasty type of series, but still be able to, take some creative liberties. It's always nice to be able to do with that. So that probably, as a video creator, I poured the most work into that as an event and as an episode, both technically and just the process, but also to make it work. So yeah, probably that, Flobathons notwithstanding, there were a lot of interesting things that happened there. And just, the stuff you can't really script, the stuff about, like, even the last Flobathon, we were like, we haven't had a pink sheep the entire Flobathon. And then I think it was Rosie came on and invoked the pink sheep, and there it was. So it was like totally scheduled, like, whoa, how you can't plan that stuff. So yeah, I mean, even exploring the floating point precision boundary in the last season was a really cool, another little a narrative sort of that you can work into it, where we had to go back to check out the jitteriness and do some science there. Kind of one of the most obvious visual cues of actually being this far out in a Minecraft world, in Minecraft beta 1.7.3. So, but yeah, for myself, I'd say definitely the hidey hole paradox, saving Wolfie, I believe was the name of that episode. Had some fun with that. Let's see here. I suppose the beginning of December here. Whoa, we can answer this question. This is an overall reaching question from a anonymous donor. And remember, this might be accidentally anonymous, but all the donations through Child's Play charity come in anonymously to me. So I only see your comment and the amount you donated and the time you donated, obviously. Unless you have gone through the trouble to make an account with the Child's Play charity widget system, which most of you don't have to, and most of you don't. They all come in anonymous. So if you do want to be known for your question or whatever, then leave it in the actual comment box. But this one was anonymous, and they simply ask, why? Why walk to the far lands? Why do it for charity? And why the Child's Play charity? Ooh, how much time do we have? That's a tough one. And we could, like I said, go all the way back to the beginning as to why I started a YouTube series. Both to have fun, seemed interesting. People said I had a good radio voice. I think that would apply to this sort of work. And I didn't even realize it could be a sort of work, quote unquote, at the time. It took me until well after I had, say, 10,000 subscribers before I even joined the partner program to earn ad revenue or whatever. And that was even after I'd quit my job. So I didn't even quit my job with the idea that I would be a YouTuber. But, I started out in the first 10 episodes of a regular old Minecraft series. And I learned about the Farlands through Notch, his blog post. And I'm like, this seems interesting. Why not do that on this little beginning YouTube series that I have going on? It's something I would have probably done if I was just playing the game, tried to see or reach the far lands. So that's kind of the reason. Just I was inspired at the time, and now I'm in too deep. Can't turn back now. So that's why the far lands, and that's why we haven't updated from beta 1.7.3, because this actually contains the far lands. Certainly not about Guinness World Records or anything like that. Why? For charity, that was just another... I had already been walking to the Farlands for 30-some-odd episodes, or 20-some-odd episodes, I suppose, if you subtract the first 10 episodes where I wasn't walking to the Farlands. And I'm like, well, I could, this is getting a lot of interest from people. A lot of viewers and subscribers are finding this back in the wee old YouTube days of summer of 2011. And I'm like, I could turn, this is the first time I've ever had anything like go viral or have interest from people on the internet to me or something I'm creating. So maybe I gotta be able to, there's gotta be a way to turn this into something, bigger than both the series and myself, but, turn it into some positivity, some good stuff. And since I had originally, your final question, asking why Child's Play Charity, I had originally... The reason I heard of Minecraft, I'm sure I would have eventually heard of it, but the reason I first heard of Minecraft was through the Penny Arcade webcomic. Did a kind of a 2-part series on getting into playing Minecraft and how addicting it was. And then I'm like, what is this game, Minecraft? Google. First result in Google is David's playthrough of Minecraft, X's adventures in Minecraft. So I watched that in entirety, binge watched it up until the point he had at the time. He was like on episode 30 or 20 or something like that. So it wasn't a huge series, but that was the first series I watched. And then from there I got into Let's Plays, and from that series I was convinced to buy the game. So I bought myself an alpha early access copy of Minecraft and played, and so it can all go back to Penny Arcade, which, if you're wondering where the connection there is, Penny Arcade actually started Child's Play Charity. They're now technically 2 independent organizations, but Child's Play Charity is originally a Penny Arcade charity, and that's why, and they've recognized Farlands Are Bust and myself. I've met the folks at the PAX conferences, and they're all good people to continue working with, so that's why I just decided to continue supporting them and what they do. It's really cool stuff. So, does that answer the why? There's many more whys than that, obviously. Some that I don't share, and some that I've certainly shared over the years that I can't quite remember when or if or where I've said them, but why do you continue to watch and or listen now that there's a podcast edition? Or why would someone choose to donate to Child's Play Charity? Do you want to help the charity? Do you like the series and you want to see it be able to press F3? Do you just want to be able to ask a question and get your name said on an episode? There's a lot of whys, and they're certainly all justified. And I suppose that's not one that's come up. I haven't done. I started doing that a lot, like every couple weeks or so. I started doing like recap or like introductory episodes for new followers, because for a while there, I was gaining a lot of subscribers with the articles and whatever and this and that and features and plugs and stuff. So I felt like my throat instantly dried out. Speaking of no moisture in the air in Arizona. I felt like every so often I had to be like, hello, new people, welcome to Farlands Are Bust. This is what we're doing. This is why we're playing in beta 173. This is why the world jitters. Still get a lot of those questions about why the world jitters. I'm not going to say it now because it's the end of the episode, and those folks probably haven't stuck around for that to be able to hear that. But yeah, I started doing a lot of those recaps, and I feel like a lot of frequent viewers may have started to get a bit annoyed every time they watch an episode of Farlands Are Bust to have to get the same spiel over and over again. Hello? Is anybody down here? Kind of just want to make a hidey hole if I could. And I can! Yeah, this'll work. This'll work just fine. And you'll be here too, Wolfie. So let's, I don't have quite the resources to make this safe, but... Alright, this is one of those moments where I might have made a poor choice. And, we could be, visited by some, unsavory characters in the night. You know what I should do? We need some blocks here to... Oh, yep, this is, one of those, this could have been one of the times. I think if I place a torch or two down here, we should be alright. Woof, Wolfie thinks so. So, alright, we just gotta make sure to, like, put the bed right there. That way we have enough space around us to make sure nothing spawns. We'll move Wolfie out of the way. And what do? We'll put down the workbench. And we will thank everybody, no matter what the reason why, for joining along here in this episode of Farlands or Bust. I very much appreciate it. farlandsorbust.com is where you can donate to Child's Play charity and have perhaps your question answered in a future episode. And make sure to leave your name, your nickname, your YouTube name, your Twitter name, whatever, with your question. If you want, you can stay anonymous. That's all right. But if you want to be associated with your question or whatever, that's the way to do it. And I do appreciate that continued support. And like I said before, the continued support of patrons. We'll be having some cool changes in the coming year. They've even got a new design for the Patreon page, so looking forward to spending an inordinate amount of time designing that in Photoshop or whatever obsessive stuff I get myself into when doing graphic design. And look forward to that. And looking forward to the last month of the year here. And then it's on to 2016. 2016? What sort of craziness is that? Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. I'm still not entirely sure this is safe, but let's find out. Wool, big heat insulating thermal